Hello, friends and neighbors.
And hello, Code Monkeys and fellow VEDSies.
Jesse and I are going to do a little collaboration, kind of an extension of the challenge that was given to, I think just to Jesse.
Correct.
To react to his first VEDS video. Jesse thought it might be fun for us to react to one of our early collaborations together.
Yeah, I thought that would be really cool. And this is not the first time we collaborated on video. I think the first time we were ever in the same video was the positive pranking series of videos that we did at the end of the second year of VEDS. But this is the first time we collaborated on a review, which was the V for Vendetta books versus movies review. If I recall correctly, I think I had kind of the basic idea of like, hey, I don't know if you're doing like anything with like graphic novels, but that might be kind of a fun way to collaborate, or that might have been your, I don't know, it's so long ago.
I was trying to remember if I came to you or if you came to me, because I know I wanted to do V for Vendetta as a books versus movies review, but I also knew that my experience with graphic novels, not having actually grown up reading comic books at all, was pretty slim. So, yeah, I honestly don't remember which one it was, but at any rate, we collaborated and just kind of wrote the review together, kind of talked about where we fell on different rounds and that sort of thing, and ended up working out really well.
Yeah, I think so. So, and this is the first time I have watched this video in years, so...
Yeah, me too.
So I'm ready to start it whenever you are, I suppose.
One movie in particular made my lighting.
Yeah, I mean...
Hasn't improved.
I will say this in your defense when it comes to the lighting in this era of Bang Geek 8408 is that your apartment was terrible for video making.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, it was really, really bad. Like the dimensions of it were poor, the sound quality of it was poor, the heat gradients were poor, the ability to light the space was poor. You were fighting a really uphill battle.
I was.
Yeah, and it's not like, my lighting certainly wasn't anything special at this particular era. This is very much an earlier kind of video for the both of us, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
This is when I was still wearing that hat like a lot, not just in this video, but I wore that hat in almost all of my videos for a time.
Yeah.
I still have that hat.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yeah, this is a very typical kind of first collaborator type setup in terms of like this was very much like the kind of style where at the time where if two people were collaborating, there would be one person who would kind of start the review at God, good facial acting there. I was fantastic, and then but then another person would come along and interrupt it, and it was God, I was really bad, wasn't I? The edits are so awkward in these things.
Yeah.
I think even I'm not sure if we did this in this case, but what I remember the way that we used to edit stuff for a while was that when it came to videos that we would collaborate on, like extended videos like this, is that you would edit basically everything that was like the actual analysis and all that sort of thing, and I would edit a lot of the story-based stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if we did that for this one or not.
Well, there wasn't a lot of story-based stuff with this one, because this wasn't... Like, this was back when the reviews were basically just reviews.
Right.
The only story-based stuff was the gimmick of... Yeah. Yeah, the only story was, like, the gimmick of just having you in the review.
Right.
And I think that was mostly me. Like, I remember when we did the Watchmen review together, you wrote basically all the story stuff.
Yeah.
Because it fit in with what you were doing with your story at that point, too. But I think this one was mostly me, just because neither of us really had involved stories on our channels at that point.
Right. And you know what, actually, I think I remember what it was. It was that basically, that like we would individually edit the, like, because we were all kind of going and speaking in longer portions in this video. So basically I would edit all of my stuff together and you would edit all your stuff together, and then I would hand my stuff off to you, and then you would kind of splice it all together.
Yeah.
And you can see that in, like, at this stage your jump cuts are like slightly better than mine. Mine are like a little bit less crisp. I have that tiny little pocket of dead audio at the end of every jump cut. And you were doing better with that at this point.
I think I'd been vlogging a little bit longer than you had at this point.
Yes, you definitely have.
I was over 2 years at this point.
Yeah. I mean, I started vlogging. I think the first vlog video that I ever put up was in like 2007, but I really didn't do it regularly until, honestly, I think until the first until like VEDS, until like I first started doing VEDS. I think that was when I really started doing it very regularly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Beyond that, it was, kind of sporadic, less sporadic than it is now. But yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think where was I going with that? Oh yeah, but the practice of story versus analysis editing, I think that really started with the Twilight books versus movies review.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, you put together all of the like little preamble videos leading up to it.
Yeah.
But then like my biggest contribution to that series was the sequence where Alicia and I go to find Reg and Hatter in the in the two places where they were.
In the campus.
Because you originally had something written.
I just had Benny Hill.
Yeah, that was it.
Because I was on a Benny Hill kick at that point, so I just literally had just Benny Hill music. Right. And you came to me and basically said, "Hey, I have a better idea. Can I do it?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely. If I don't have to do anything, then sure, go for it."
I mean, yeah, I think like my main concern at that point was just that I felt like the Benny Hill gag was gonna feel overused, because there were three, because that would have made three sections in the video where that gag got used. There's like the one, oh god, I hate watching this so much. I hate this. I mean, it's supposed to be kind of terrible, but it's a little. It shoots the moon and like goes around from purposely terrible to like act terrible on accident all over again. I was really not very good. In fact,
I will say this. I will say this. I don't remember. I think I put in the video footage, the movie footage behind you, and I like that I put in like the guy appearing out of the shadows as you were starting your spiel. That was a nice bit of.
Yeah, I like to find little elegant bits like that in editing. And I don't know how much it's worth it because I feel like nobody ever notices that stuff.
Occasionally, I'll get a comment that somebody notices. Those are, like every so often, I'll have somebody notice that for mine. So.
Yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm sitting here with the freaking glove on, but I'm like, this is like out of character commentary stuff. I should take that off. This is not in continuity.
No, this is not.
Yeah, man. This is one of the fun things that you can see in that sort of original bookshelf background there, and I remember this was that you always had that door open and the blinds open there to try to get what natural light you could in from
whatever
the next
light
room
I could,
over.
Yeah.
And it ends up being one of the more better lit spots in the apartment without just straight up being next to a window.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can see this angle is much better lit for me than the other one because again there's a window directly opposite me where I can get that natural lighting.
Yeah, like there was not like when I was in front of the TV there was nothing. Like I had nothing to work with.
Yeah.
Except for like one window that was like a good distance away.
Yeah. But
so
like
yeah, the bookshelf always ended up being much better lit.
Yeah, and because of the angle of your of the way that the window in the front room was in terms of where the roof kind of overhanged and where it was like in the corner, like light would never come directly in that window.
Yeah.
I remember like when I don't remember which year of VEDS it was, but it was the year I think it might have been like third or fourth year. I'm not sure. But I came down to visit for several days to Bowling Green.
Right.
And I...
It was 2011, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh yeah, this is back when the videos could only be 10 minutes long.
Only yeah.
Yep.
No longer than 10 minutes, so I had to upload it in parts.
Yep. I think the default now is 15 minutes. Like that's like yeah, because I remember Tessa saying something about like her videos can only be 15 minutes long, and you have to have been posting
Right.
for a certain amount of time or a certain number of videos in order to be able to post past that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I remember when I came down to visit that one time, and you had work for several hours, and it was during like the brightest part of the day, and I was just working on stuff on my own. And I remember having the thought, I'm like, I do not think that the light has like directly hit this window even once.
Yeah. No, it was a pretty dingy apartment.
Yeah, there's some weird sentiment attached to it, I think.
Oh yeah, no. Well, I mean, I made like I think like still the vast majority of the videos on my channel are from that apartment.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's a whole era, that apartment. It really is.
Like that's where I did almost all of Shiny Happy Vloggy People. That's where I did a good chunk of books versus movies. Like that's the apartment. Like that's still like anytime I talk about the apartment in reference to YouTube, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah. God, Shiny Happy Vloggy People. That's where all the madness started, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah. No, I mean that's the thing. Like that's why there's not as much story going on at this point in Banking 8408 because it was all happening at SHVP.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's when like all of that weird stuff was going down there, and so here it was just kind of like, okay, I'm just gonna straight up do reviews and whatever, and then it transferred over when Shiny Happy Vlog People finally ended.
Yeah. I remember like when we that we got a lot of flack for this particular video.
Yeah.
It was that there was some. I mean, you get a certain amount of that with anything, when it comes to discussing adaptations and that sort of thing. Like I think really the only one, and this is just my own personal recollection of it, because I spent time in the comments of every video to one degree or another. But I think the only video that I can recall where there was not like a really strong backlash, at least against the content of the review, was Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Because no one had read the book.
Right. And that's not even just read. Like that's one of those things where people like don't even know the book exists for the most part.
Right. Yeah.
I do remember. I only remember one angry comment from that video, which was I think, and I'm quoting as best I can here, WTF, quit with the cheese, show us the review. Because
I got a lot of those when I started doing that.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the first ones, and I think that was that like the first Books versus Movies review where you went really, really hard into
That was the first one. That was the start of the genre storyline. Like that was the first like fully genred review that I did. I'd done like gags in other reviews, but that was the first one that went like full on genre.
Mm-hmm. Was it the first one? Was it the first books versus movies review, or the first first review period? Because I thought I know that like Memento you told out of order, and I don't know.
No, I did do Memento after.
Okay.
No. Who Framed Roger Rabbit was the first one that I did, and then after that, I think after that I did Rashomon and I did Memento, because both of those kind of led up to the musical.
Right. No, you're correct.
Roger Rabbit was first.
Yeah, and
that was the introduction of that.
Yeah, and that one is very very much jumping in at the deep end when it comes to that whole genre thing, because it is very very distinct.
Oh, I had a blast with that. That was so much fun.
Oh, that was tons of fun, and I really I think the thing I enjoyed most, I loved playing the washed up drunk character with the gag that it was just Tab soda.
And that was all you. Like, I didn't write that into the script. That was just all you, just going with that.
Well, yeah. So, you had the I had
the description.
Yeah, you had the description of the of the fact that of like where you were going into like, you know, like he got, you know, like really deep into the sodas, and you wrote the gag about Tab, right? And then I just kind of. I'm like, okay, so you're gonna need like character introduction stuff. So I just like did all these like random little shots of like just various gags. One that I really liked actually was how was the shot that I had in the armchair where the blinds are casting that sort of vertically sliced shadow on my face. This is very noir.
Yeah.
I think that I could have done better in some areas to get a bit more high contrast, but you know, I filmed it, you know, during the middle of the day. But yeah, God, that was fun.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? And actually, fun fact: the Tab review is to date my most, I believe, still my most disliked video. People get really upset with that one. Yeah, because there's a lot of people who really like Tab. And you know, I feel like people don't get the joke with those videos. Like, the joke of the soda review series is that it's really kind of pointless to review sodas, because among all of the senses, taste, like the sense of taste is the most subjective. And and there's no and I mean, you can talk about, you know, building flavor profiles and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, your tongue is wired the way your tongue is wired, and that's why those videos are more about making stupid faces and goofy sounds. Like, that's
right.
And I think people don't really get that from time to time. Like, the closest I get to actual analysis in those videos is when I try to describe what something tastes like what it is akin to. Right. Like, it's akin to this or that thing. But man, we're getting way off topic. But I feel like we've said so little.
This started out as a reaction video, and we're basically just talking about anything but this video.
Yeah. So I gotta ask. There was a thing you were doing for a while where you were doing the books versus movies review redux. Was this one that you ever thought about kind of going back to?
I honestly hadn't thought about this one as going back to it. Now that I'm kind of looking at it again, and I'm not really paying much attention to the actual analysis at all, but now that I'm looking at it again, I might kind of watch it, like for real watch it, and kind of listen to the analysis and see if I still kind of think the same way. I'll be honest, I haven't seen the movie or read the book for a long time. I actually don't think since we did this review. But I mean, when I did the redux of books versus movies, I had really only intended to do those three. But I think I'm probably going to do a few more. I know I've already got something planned for Little Mermaid. To do not really a full redux, but to take another look at it. So I might go back to some of these earlier ones, because I know that this one, this one still, I think, gets a lot of, I don't want to say like outright hate, but a lot of disagreement. But especially from hardcore Alan Moore fans, who, and this is one of the hardest decisions that I've made in books versus movies. Like there are a few, like a lot of them are really easy. I know going in which one's going to win. This one wasn't that.
No.
Like I liked the movie and I read the book and I really liked that too. And it was a really, really tough decision. And I did have a little bit of trepidation in collaborating on any books versus movies review. But, there's always kind of that fear that the person you're collaborating with is going to disagree with you. And I think I was a little bit more nervous about this one, too, because I was collaborating with someone who actually knew graphic novels. And there was the off chance that you were going to tell me, no, you're wrong about everything and the book is better, and completely disagree with me on my assessment that I felt that the movie was better. And it helped a little bit, knowing that it was such a close decision that I probably could have argued the other way if I had really needed to.
Yeah, and I mean, When I first started going into this, I knew that like one of the first thoughts in my head was that like, okay, like even if I disagree with what Matt has to say on like the ultimate conclusion of this, it's not my review. Like this is your thing, and I'm just helping with it. Like, I mean, there's only like, and that's that. With the books versus movies review thing, that's always my view, is that like I am the collaborator. I'm the person who's joining in, so it's not my choice. I know that you value my opinion, but at the end of the day, that's not the one that's going to trump anything. And it's I think I do a pretty okay job of being cognizant of that, and really. It helps that you and I are just really of a like mind on very many things. We think very similarly in a lot of ways, and so we don't, when we do have disagreements about stuff, it tends to be a little bit more minor. Like I think in it was either in the Watchmen review or this. I think it was the Watchmen review, but like I think there was one tiny disagreement we had, which was that you liked a lot of the musical choices and there were some that I didn't like, and I think there's like one throwaway line about that, and especially in that case I'm like, well, I don't know dick about music. Like this is not the hill I need to die on, But I do. I'm eventually going to need to go back to Little Mermaid myself. Because I've said this in a previous video, but the next kind of unit that I'm going to be focusing on is either Little Mermaid or on Aladdin. And I need to go into the Little Mermaid 2 again a little bit. I probably won't do like another a fully redone review like I have with some of them. It'll probably be more like the Beauty and the Beast Enchanted Christmas review, where it's a bit more extemporaneous and not like a full-on recap, because I don't know that really calls for it. But I think that if this particular video has a failing, it's that I don't know that we made like what this review ultimately came down to was personal preference, and I don't know that we made that as clear as we could have.
Yeah, and I didn't in those early days. Like I think I've been a little bit better about that. Like I know in Lord of the Rings, that was my whole thing at the end.
Yes.
Was my whole speech about how it all comes down to personal preference. I didn't do that as much in the early days of books versus movies, even though a lot of them did come down to that.
Yeah, and I would say that in general, my opinion of this of V for Vendetta as an adaptation, I think that the book probably does more to justify its own existence, and I think that at the end of the day, it is probably a little bit better and a little bit more skillful at being what it wants to be than the movie is at being what it wants to be.
Yeah.
But I still I would still prefer to watch the movie as opposed to read the book, because Alan Moore's books are hard to read, and they're designed to be so, and that's part of what gives them such amazing artistic merit. But it does make them hard to read, and I don't go back to them over and over again, or I don't tend to.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yep, and here we go. Here we go with the shtick. Yeah. I was not good at the shtick at this time.
Yeah.
Especially, 'cause, again, like, my acting was terrible at this stage. It really, really was.
Well, you gotta come from somewhere.
Yeah, I just wish a lot of it. I just wish all the growing pains weren't so thoroughly documented. There's a reason that when I first started putting the original Entropy series together, that it was going to be a series back in the day that was separate from the main channel. But the reason I started putting that, there was a reason that I put myself behind a mask and talked almost entirely with my hands, is because I'm better at talking with my hands than I am with my face.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, well. Well, this was fun to revisit.
Yeah, I enjoyed this.
Yeah. We obviously, we probably could have talked about the actual movie itself a little bit, though. Yeah. The actual review itself a little bit more. Just kind of turned into a general reflection on our growth and process, as it were. But hopefully that was interesting.
No, I'm sure people will enjoy that.
Yeah, I think so. Any closing thoughts for us?
We've both come a long way.
Yes.
In the 8 years since we did that video, we've both come a long way, and I think now that I've done this, I think I will take another look at that review and maybe do a little bit of a revisit on that, just to kind of clarify one or two things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to sign us off?
Thank you all for watching. I hope this was entertaining for you. I think it will be, but that's up to you to decide, I suppose. So until next time, Code Monkeys and fellow VEDSies.
See you later.
Yep. And who else?
And friends and neighbors.
There we go.
Hi, friends and neighbors. It's late. I need to go to bed.
Yeah, I need to go to bed too. Yeah. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye now.